Well, hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Celisa coming to you from Beautifully Me and You. And today I thought I'd bring you guys a review and an explanation of how I do my shipping costs for Etsy, as well as the thermal printer that I purchased that has been life-changing, period. That's on period. And if that sounds like something that interests you, then let's get right into it. All right, so first let's talk about the printer. The printer that I purchased is really small. Look how tiny, it's so cute. It doesn't take up a lot of space. They have this in different colors this one's white and black, because you know, I'm just basic, okay? But they have one that's pink, I think one that's blue. I'll definitely link it down below in my Amazon storefront. I got it from Amazon and it's called Munbyn. Most of these thermal printers I found cost a little over $200. This one was under $200, which was a win for me. And it's super easy to use, which I watched one tutorial on YouTube on how to use it and I was ready to go. So let me show you all the pieces that it came with. That'll kind of like explain how we use it. I'll show you one example of printing a label, okay? All right, so I'm gonna try to recreate everything that I received because I got this about maybe 3 weeks ago. And yeah, like I said, it's been life-changing. So it comes with the printer just like this. And then it came with some labels. I want to say about maybe 30, a thin pack of labels, which was maybe like this many. But I purchased this 500 pack and I'll also link this down below. So 500 labels is what I bought. But it did come with a few. It also came with this little driver to install the actual program into your computer. So that's the driver that it comes with. It came with a connection cord to connect the computer directly to the printer. It has USB for the computer side, and then this little part is for the printer side. So it came with this cord. And then it also came with this charger, which had two pieces. I'm not gonna disconnect it, but it was one half that's just the cord that goes into the base, and then the other half that goes directly plugged into the printer. So the base gets plugged into the wall to give it power, okay? So let me show you how easy this is. Hold on, let me plug it up. So all you do is basically plug it here in the back, the power cord. And then the cord that would go to your computer, the USB portion goes to your computer, and this little part goes to the back as well, which is right here. So it's just those two little cords. Then you would plug the USB directly into the side of your computer. And this USB symbol is on the top. That's how you know you have the right side up. You put that in there. And that's pretty much all the main setup of the printer, other than feeding in the labels. So let me show you how easy that is. First and foremost, it has an on and off switch in the back here. So you turn that on. One thing about a thermal printer that I had no knowledge of is they never need ink. This actually prints through heat, so you don't have any ink cartridges that you have to change. And the printer paper is the only thing that you'll actually need. The labels is the only thing you actually need. And like I said, I think I got about 500 of them for $20. For the paper, it's flashing red right now because it doesn't have the paper in. And I'm gonna show you how easy it is to feed in just a minute. Let me first show you the paper because that's important. This paper was by Munbyn as well. Munbyn, I think is how you say it. But it can be another type of label to feed in as well. It doesn't have to be this one. The printer will recognize even, you know, off-brand labels. But I just happen to buy the ones that came with the same company. They're very affordable. The most important thing is when it says let this side face down, please, make sure this side face down, because if that's facing up when you feed it in, it won't print when you go to print and you're confused as to why. It can detect what side of the paper it's supposed to print on. It should be printing on the smooth side. So you definitely want this side to face down. So it will feed into the printer this way, okay? So let me see. All right, so I hope that's in frame. But the reason why it's flashing is because the paper is not inserted. And this one has two functions. You can either push the circle button here. Wait, me and my nails, hold on. Push it here and lift up this way and feed it in. This is actually, let me see if I can show you guys this part. This is actually the thermal part that burns the label onto the paper. So you don't want to mess with that part. But this part here, you can feed it in, or there's even an easier way for this printer. You just close it, and then you take the paper with this side facing down, and there's 2 prongs in the back, like this, and you just stuff it in here, and it will catch the paper on its own. And now it's ready. So it has a green light and it's ready to print. That's how simple it is to work this printer. You literally just feed the paper in the back, and then it sucks it in and pushes it out. So I'll show you guys one more time because I don't know if that was in frame. Hold on. Let me open it to take it out. Okay, so it's flashing red, and you literally just thread it through the back until it catches, hands off, and it's ready to go. It already knows where to start the printing at, okay? So that's how easy it is to load this printer and how easy it is to use it. So let me show you on Etsy exactly how I set up my shipping labels, and then I'll show you how I actually print one.
Okay, so to get started, you would go to your shop manager, and then you would click on orders and shipping. And once you click on orders and shipping, in the top right corner, it'll say shipping settings, and you'll click that. You'll first need to create a profile for your shipping, and then you would attach it to any listing. So it's kind of like a 2-part step. So to create the profile first, this is the profile that you'll be using for however many listings you have. You can either have Etsy calculate it for you, the shipping cost, or you can manually enter it yourself. And I have manually entered it myself, but I've realized calculate it for me is the way to go. The shoppers will see the price based on their location, weight, and dimension of the items of the listings, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. So let's just say we're shipping from a zip code 902. I meant to put 90210, but that's okay. Let's say we're shipping from there. We have to pick a processing time. And so I always feel like you should overshoot your processing time because something can come up where you can't get it out on time. And if you can't get your orders out on the time that you have selected, then Etsy will give you like a ding against getting your orders out on time. So I feel like I always overshoot. They do have this custom range function. I thought about using this for pre-orders where I would say things would be processed on my end between 1 and 2 weeks. And that's the time needed that, I would be able to collect the orders and then just know within 1 to 2 weeks I had to have it out by then. But typically I usually pick 3 to 5 business days. And just be aware that, like it says, buyers are more likely to purchase items from shops that ship quickly. So, if you have a pre-order set up, just make sure your customers are already aware that that's what that is for. Okay. Next is where do we ship? And before I was only shipping to the United States. The custom forms became very confusing, but you can select all the countries you do or do not want to. I recently just opened up in my shop all countries, and Etsy has made it so easy for me. Whenever I'm shipping something out of the country far away, it doesn't actually give me the custom form, but instead it has me ship it to a third-party vendor who then prepares the customs form and gets it onto the customer. So, but if I'm shipping to Canada, then it seems to be that the actual custom form prints on the label, and then I just need to make sure that I sign it. So you can select and deselect any of those areas. Next is the shipping services. And so I leave all of these checked. If a customer wants to pick priority mail or priority express mail, I let them. As quickly as I turn around the packages and get it out, it's most, beneficial just to pick first class mail. But Etsy will give them a quote as to how much priority mail or priority express mail will be. And it also has several different international options, different speeds for them as well. So I usually keep all of them. But like I said, most times people are selecting first class mail and I get it to them pretty quickly with that option. It does have the expected delivery time on the sides of that. Okay, next is the free shipping box. And so you can actually add free shipping for domestic or free shipping for international, which could be kind of expensive, but you can add the free shipping in there if that's something that you want to do. Next, you can add handling fees if you feel like, it's extra work for you to take a package that's going to Canada to the post office and actually have to walk in. You can add an international processing fee of $5, or if you have to package it differently because it's going to be a longer travel time, you can add processing fees in there as well. The customer won't see the handling fee, they'll just see the overall total price that it's going to cost in order to ship. Finally, the last step, you want to just go ahead and give your profile a name so you can have it. and it'll show up here. So I already had one shipping to for myself, and this one is shipping 1. After that, you want to go ahead and create a listing. So you'll go back to the home page and add a listing. If you're creating one brand new, if you already have a listing, you can just go into the listing and tag the new shipping profile, okay? But you'll upload pictures, any videos, all the descriptions, and everything that you need to do in order to create a listing on Etsy. Put whatever tags you need, and then the price and the inventory. I'll give you some tips on that in a minute. But let's scroll down here to the shipping. You'll see my shipping 2 and shipping 1. We just created shipping 1. So whatever this new product is, let's just say it was 5 ounces. So we go ahead and put in 5 ounces or 6 ounces. 5 ounces is what I end up settling on. Okay. And then we'll put in the size of the package. Most of my packages are 8 by 4 inches. So you'll put that in there if you were doing, like, let's say the mini savings challenges, right? And so once you do that and you select that you want to use shipping profile number 1, at the bottom of the page, once you select that, it will give you an estimated price for where you're shipping. So it says, okay, if you're sending it to Chicago, it's going to be $3.99 if a customer was buying from this particular product with this shipping profile. And you can change it and say, okay, well, what if I'm shipping from Los Angeles to Los Angeles? Okay, that price for first class would be $3.76. And you also can look out of the country. How much would that be? Now, that also includes the $5 handling fee we added in, but it'll be $22.24. Or you can say to Germany, how much would it be? $20.34, and it has the handling fee added in there as well. So it's a good way to kind of gauge whether or not you have the appropriate pricing for the packages that you're sending and how much the customer will be paying. Now, also remember, Etsy is deducting this direct postage amount out of your account for whatever it is that you charge the customer for the sale. So they'll be charging the customer the postage price. And then when you purchase the postage label, it will take it directly out of your account. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. I'm going to show you a couple of other tips and tricks. So let's say we had this product that we're offering is going to be $2 and we want to have some variations added. I know a lot of people have some confusion with variations, and trust me, I did for the longest time, and I'm still not a pro at it, but I'm getting better. Okay. So it's telling me before I can add variations, I think I need to go up to the top and add something in there. So I'll do that in just a minute. But yeah, let me just hold on one second. It says I need to add a category. I'm just going to pick any random category just so that I can get down to the variations and kind of show you guys how to add that. All right, so back to the variations we go. So let's say we wanted to add a variation. This is going to be what type, and you can see all the different options that are there, but you also can go to custom and then type in something specific. So if it was like for the cash envelopes that I offered, then you would type in envelope name. Now that you have envelope name as one of the variations, is asking you what types of envelopes are you offering over to the right. So say I had the $450 challenge. That's one of the envelopes that I wanted to offer. These things that I'm adding over here to the right will show up as a drop-down menu for the customer to pick which one they want. So the next one will be, let's say, the penny challenge. So I'll add that. The next one would be, let's see, 1 month ahead. And so I'll add 1 month ahead and then click add. And now when I go back, there's a couple of other things I can select before doing so. You can have the prices vary per variations, or you can have the quantities vary. And when I had the envelopes that I had before, wait, let me correct this. When I had the envelopes that I had before, I only had a certain amount of each different type of envelope. And so I wanted the quantities to vary per different labels that I had for envelope types that were for sale. So I clicked the quantities button to say that it was different, okay? And that way I'll be able to differentiate how many of each I have. So then I click save and I go to quantity, and I can then add in the quantity of each individual type of envelope that I have and make sure that that is there. So once a customer buys all of the envelopes of one category, it will show that one as sold out, and it'll still have the other ones available. And now you notice at the top, it's not requesting a quantity because the quantity is listed down below under the variations type, okay? So that's one way that you can differentiate. But let me show you another thing that you can do. Let's see. Well, I was going to say pricing, but the pricing probably won't be different. So let me just delete all of this. Hold on one second. All right, so let's say we're not trying to do envelope types, but instead we want to offer different types of binders. Okay, say we have different types of binders. They're all going to vary in price. So the first one might be a checkered binder, and we add that to the shop. And the next one might be, let's say, a crocodile binder. So we add that to the shop. Next one might be the color red. So we would then add red to the shop. And the last one, let's just say it's white. No. Let's say it's black. Okay, so a black binder. Let's add that to the shop. And so now we have all the different types of binders, and we can actually differentiate how much quantity we have of each. And also we can change the pricing on each one. So I'm going to just fill these in, hypothetically speaking, like let's say the checkered one is going to cost $25, and I have so many of those, and the colored red and black ones are only going to be $15, and I have so many of those. I can then save this, and it will have a drop down that says, okay, for a checkered binder, it's $25. It won't show them the quantity, but it will show the different types that I have, the different prices, and then it will keep track in the background of how many of each you have left. And once you're done, it will actually show as sold out. So that's another thing that you can do. Okay. And you also can go back into this particular screen and update the quantity if you receive more. That's a way that you can keep up with your inventory. You also can change the pricing here if you choose to later. You also can add personalization, so you can turn that on. And I've used this a lot to say, hey, for the cash envelopes that I'm creating, do you want them hole punched A6 or personal size? And then I have a size chart at the top of the listing as one of the photos where people should be looking and referencing whether they want them hole punched A6 or personal based on the size chart that I provided. I'm thinking about changing the wording when I sell envelopes again so I can ensure that people have actually measured their binder. But this is what your customer would see over there to the right, and they would have to enter in something. Now you can make it where personalization is optional, or you can make it just where they have to enter something in order to proceed. So that's the basics of like how to actually use the profile, the shipping profile, and some other tips and tricks in the actual listing. All right, so let's say you received your orders and now you go to your orders and you see that you have new orders here. At the bottom of the screen is where the orders would appear, but I'm protecting them for, the customer's privacy. But once you open up your orders, you will actually see each individual order has these icons on the right of the actual purchase of what it is they bought. And it also shows the price they paid for shipping. So you would click the Get Shipping Labels, and the secondary screen would come up where you can then adjust the package size, adjust the delivery service, say if they want a signature required, you can adjust all of that. And at the bottom, you would say Review and Proceed with Purchase. It would bring you to this screen where you would actually purchase. And then it brings you to another screen in order to confirm.
So one thing I did have to correct whenever I did the printing was when I watched the tutorial, she talked about downloading it and flipping it in order to get it printed. I don't have time for that. Instead of clicking paper size here, which there's a ton of different paper sizes, I just left that as is, but I went down here to print using system dialog and I clicked that. And it comes up with the Munbyn printer, and then from there I went to paper size and I clicked 4x6 because that's the size of those labels. And I said 1 per sheet with the layout being up in regular portrait. And then that's it. I went ahead and clicked print and you'll see it come out of the printer. And it's just that simple. From there, I just go ahead and peel the sticker off the paper like this and affix it directly to my package. And it's ready to go. Now there's also a way that you can print multiples. If you have multiple shipping that you need to do, then you would just click this down button and select all on page, and then you would go to hit print. Get shipping labels is what you click right here. And it's gonna bring up the same boxes where you need to make sure that the packages are correct in size, and it has delivery for 1 of 2. And you would review that purchase that one, and go to the next, and go to the next, and then print them all at the same time. And so you literally could print like 50 labels all within, I think, 2-3 minutes. So that is another option that you have whenever you're trying to work through Etsy. But yeah, that's how the printer works, and it's super easy. Once you set up the driver, that's the most important part, I think, When you get this in the beginning, you'll put this into your computer and it'll show you how you need to download the driver so that the driver will be in your computer. And you can watch a tutorial. They have a YouTube video linked into the driver setup. So once you plug this in, it'll automatically start to run. I can't rerun it because I already installed it in my computer, but it literally took like 3 to 4 minutes for it to install. And once that was done, then it's all set to go. I keep this with my supplies that I ship for Etsy just in case I ever have to reinstall or something happens with the computer and I get an upgrade. I'll need this driver. So this is going to be really important for you to have. It comes on a keychain. Just make sure to keep up with this piece when you have this printer.
Well, I think that's everything I wanted to share with you guys about Etsy and shipping labels. I also wanted to mention that this particular Munbyn printer does print other things like little small thank you labels. You can adjust the prongs on the inside to fit other size labels, not just shipping labels. So you can have stickers for thank yous or printouts that you want to include in your packages printed with this printer. My particular version only prints in black ink, so you'd have to have a colored sticker with black on top and create that yourself. But yeah, if you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, leave this one single emoji here on the screen. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something that can help you in your shop as well, and expect to hear from me soon. You guys take care. Bye-bye.